Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone. A big welcome on this Friday at USA Global TV and Radio. We are thrilled to welcome our global audience. I am Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and our show today is the power of etiquette and manners. Our topic is grace and decorum, navigating modern etiquettes. And of course, you know I'm not alone to do this show because we have our expert in-house. He is the founder and principal of the British School of Excellence, Mr. Philip Sykes. Welcome. Hello.
Hello. Lovely to see you, Dr. Jacqueline. And just when we were backstage, I had to pay you a very warm and wonderful compliment. You look stunning. I love the new hairstyle. You're radiating. It's just so lovely to see.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I guess I'm just having a good hair day. Oh, I did it. Look what I did. I gave you a feedback, which I shouldn't have done. Bad. We should just take the compliment and say thank you.
Absolutely. But a good hair day is a good day.
That's right. Thank you, Philip. I appreciate it. How are you doing on this special Friday?
Really well, thank you. It's been a busy week. What can I share with you? Lots of things going on. We are planning the launch of our Train the Trainer in mid-October. We've got some wonderful students already teed up and committed. We've got a new launch of the Polished Professional, and we've had some incredible feedback on the Polished Professional, which I think from memory I shared last week, and I'd love to share again. And what else has been going on? I know there's lots of things happening behind the scenes. Yes, we're launching some e-learning material on various different platforms as well as our own platform. So that's coming up, and yeah, a good week thus far.
I love to hear it. You know that because it's this show brings so much knowledge and education and wisdom, and we always have many people from across the world who are watching or commenting. So thank you, Phil, because it's really a testament to you and the work that you're doing at the British School of Excellence.
Well, it's only a pleasure. It's what I get out of bed for every single day.
We have an exciting topic today, and I think it's really relevant because we're going to be talking about our youth, the children, the teens who are in this world today, who are learning from us as leaders, as adults, and things have changed somewhat. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. And off the back of an article which I read in The Guardian recently, you know, it really talks about the values that we teach our children has changed, but good manners are very much timeless. And, you know, Dr. Jacqueline and all the audience out there, thank you to the audience for taking the time to either watch live or come and watch the episode at a time that suits you and is convenient for you. And I really pray and ask you to share this amazing platform, the USA Global TV platform, with everyone and anyone, because the value that this platform brings in so many different areas of life and disciplines it's priceless. It's worth gold, and it really is, and it's freely available. So, you know, anyone out there looking to move forward in your life, the shows that Dr. Jacqueline tees up and works very hard behind the scenes to bring amazing people on board, as we all do, and we bring in great guests as well. Just understand that good manners open doors that some of the best education in the world cannot. Having said that, it's still very fun. It's still fundamental for those of us who are really, really privileged to have education. Take it with both hands and really implement that education. Just sort of going sideways at the moment, we, as Dr. JACALYN knows, along with Roland Friedel, and there's a cohort of us that represent or present on USA Global TV. We have the Push Child Foundation in Uganda, which is an incredible setup. It's an orphanage run by a gentleman. I call him Enoch because it's just such a wonderful name. That's his surname, Mr. Enoch. And he has put this incredible charity together. And we are a huge sponsor and support of the Push Child Foundation. And we really would love to get people out there to understand the value and power of what your donations can do. In the sense it's going to put a roof over their heads, going to feed them, but very importantly, it's going to educate them. And we obviously implement the importance of etiquette and manners. And these are the most beautiful little souls in the world that haven't really been given much of a choice. But when it comes to etiquette and manners, Dr. JACALYN, absolutely, good manners are timeless.
Excellent points, and I love the work that you're doing with Push Child, so thank you for that as well. We have a comment from someone watching, Sadher Khan, I believe. Good effort. Thank you for watching over on YouTube. We appreciate you.
Absolutely amazing.
I had the opportunity to watch a young child, 2 years old, numerous times, someone I know and love, and she's like a little sponge. She absorbs everything. She's curious. She's tilting her head, looking around, asking questions. And I thought to myself, at what point do we go from being so adorable, cute, and curious to being so judgmental and closed off? And I think that's where etiquette and manners and compassion and empathy and respect all come into place. So when someone is young, they are impressionable, and what we teach them, what we provide them, can last for a lifetime and then have to be undone, as we know. So what are your thoughts about that, Philip?
You give me goosebumps when you bring that into play, Dr. JACALYN, because everything we do as adults, as human beings, everything that's televised, everything that, when you see something, you can't unsee it, okay? Often when we hear things, maybe as time passes, you can possibly forget. Having said that, when something is repeatedly drummed into you, for example, you're ugly, you're fat, you'll never find a partner, you're stupid, stop being so clumsy. All of these things that human beings say to one another and beyond, I can well assure you that's just, scratching the surface, is going to rub off. And that word sponge is such a perfect example, metaphor for this, because think about a sponge. When we put it into water, what's it going to do? It's going to absorb as much water as it can. And that's what our beautiful children are. And funny enough, the first 6 to 7 years of a child's life is from when they're born to 6, 7 years old. They learn more in that period of their lives than they'll learn going forward. So the foundation, the roots are absolutely crucial.
I appreciate everything that you just said. We do have a follow-up comment from Sadher Khan. I'm from Pakistan. Fantastic. Thank you again for joining us.
Assalamu alaikum, Sada.
I think what's super important from what you said, and just expanding upon that, is that as adults, we have such an important role to be role models. Just the other day, someone said something really insulting to me. They put me down in front of someone else, and I kind of was hurt by it. But later I thought, that has nothing to do with me. That has to do with that person. But what does have to do with me is how I respond. And so what are we doing in the leadership roles that we're in? I'm not just saying the two of us, I'm saying in humanity. When we have youngsters, we have young people, whether they're our own or there's someone who's looking to us. People are always watching. We say that all the time. We don't know who is watching us. And even if we're not in the public domain, people like to people watch. They sit and they just watch people go by. And so how we show up and what we're saying and what we're doing is impacting someone somewhere. So Philip, my question for you is, because I think this is really important in our topic today, grace and decorum. When we're having an off day, we know we're having an off day, but yet we interact with someone and we just let them have it because we're so upset about something. How can we control ourselves, or how can we take it back? Can we take it back even?
Whew, you come up with some very, very wonderful and challenging questions. And I love these questions because this is a question we get posed with quite a lot. And not only that, we are human beings. So let's firstly put that word perfection out of the picture, because we're not perfect. We must be very, very spot on with what we do career-wise and focus on our jobs at hand and that sort of thing. But we do make mistakes. So that's the first thing to acknowledge. The second thing to acknowledge is also to learn to say I'm really sorry, and not as we go back, I did it. I'm saying sorry, but I reacted because of X, Y, and Z. And you and I have spoken about this, Dr. JACALYN, the passive-aggressive approach. For me, funny enough, I was working with this beautiful little 10-year-old girl today in Malaysia, in the Philippines, and we were talking about, a friend of hers had said to her, there's a new girl at school, we mustn't like her. And I said to this little girl, I said, do you think that's fair? And she said, no, I don't. I said, are you going to do what your friends tell you to do all the time, or are you going to be your own person? And she thought about it, and she's a very smart little girl. She said, I'm going to be my own person. I said, that's absolutely right. And I said to her, okay, so what I'd like you to do is think about, what would you feel like if someone had that approach to you? You were the new girl at school, and you had the same experience. How would you feel? And we talked this through. And children will absolutely absorb things if they're explained in a wonderful and gentle sort of way. And it really does give us that opportunity to bring kids up in such a dynamic way. Cutting out negative words. So, for example, the word no. If we use that word on a regular basis, as we get older, the word no is going to resonate with us, and it basically will pull a trigger within our minds, the psychology. The subconscious is 1,000 times more powerful than our conscious. And so that word no will trigger something which basically will have a knock-on effect to how we handle something. Now, going into what you're sharing and that question you asked me is, so I know I've gone a bit off-piste here. For those of you who are skiers, that means going off the track into the deep snow. But I'm coming back now onto piste. And the reason why I shared that with you is because I then asked this little girl, I said, do you sometimes have some bad days? And she said, yes. And I said, well, we all have bad days. Hopefully not too many, but we do. And I said, one thing I really would love to share with you, and this is very much to do with our emotional intelligence. And the sooner we as parents can guide and implement EQ, emotional intelligence, into our children and give them these incredible tools, we're going to bring up the most wonderful, gorgeous children, having empathy, having that growth mindset, having the ability to be sociably adaptable, to be situationally aware, self-aware, and all of those, be able to motivate themselves. And I said to her, where's your happy place? And she said, playing in my room. I said, so the next time you have a bad day, I want you to just go and find somewhere really quiet and close your eyes and think about playing in your bedroom and what joy it brings to you. And is it going to work abracadabra, bunny rabbit, jump out the hat? Absolutely not. This takes a lot of solace, a lot of practice. And the same for us as adults. We have a choice. All of us have a choice. We can either face the day in that grumpy mood, or we can find a tool to trigger us and push us through into focusing and being the best versions of ourselves for that day. If you want to then get home and throw the duvet over your head, so be it. But we really need to actually understand and center ourselves. That word, do you know yourself? Oh, I know myself, but do we really, really know ourselves? And that's a really deep question. So Dr. JACALYN, I know you keep fit, and I know we talk a lot, and when you've woken up or you've got something that's triggered you, I know you go off and do some exercise. And funny enough, this Monday when I woke up, I haven't spoken to you this week, I woke up feeling Yeah, absolutely washed out. I felt I've been on this hamster wheel. What am I doing? Blah. We have these thoughts. And the first thing as I did, I went for an exercise session, came back actually a very different person.
I love what you shared. I totally agree with what you're saying. I think that we know ourselves, and if we don't, what are we waiting for? What an exciting journey to get to know yourself as opposed to being defined by someone else. And I think that that's also where sometimes we go off the tracks when it comes to etiquette and manners, because we let ourselves be defined by someone else. Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, I'm not this and I'm not that. And I've shared with you that, actually I have, it came yesterday, my new book launched yesterday, and the bottom line is it's called Blonde, Sexy, and Hot as Shiites, Beauty, Brains, and Ulcerative Colitis. And the reason I bring it up is because I was told by men through time, oh, you're so hot, you're so this, you're so that, oh, you've ulcerative colitis, oh, you're dirty, you're disgusting, I don't want anything to do with you. And I let that define me for a very long time. And when I see young people now being diagnosed with these illnesses, and I think, oh my gosh, I don't want them to go through what it is that I went through. So the point is, we've heard many stories from people that they were in school and their teacher said, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not creative enough, and it sticks with you. And so you have that encumbrance, you have that pain that's deep inside of you, and that could potentially impact how you're treating other people, because you don't even like yourself because someone told you there was something wrong with you.
And funny enough, on a very personal note, I was Kerry and I went off earlier today and just had a bit of us time. She works from home on a Friday, and I said, I'm going to go and do some exercise. Why don't you go and have a coffee in the cafe, and we'll have a little light lunch afterwards, and we can catch up with one another. And we got onto a topic, and she brought something up really quite sensitive, and something that made me feel very, very emotional, because she was a late starter as a female. We met when she was turning 40. She had never been married before, no children. She had literally 1 or 2 boyfriends. She was very much a late starter in the relationship world. And she's been worked hard on herself, and she's, whatever one deems success to be. But, at a stage, she's run a fantastic business and designing and manufacturing lingerie. And for those of you out there who like lingerie, my wife is now launching her own swimwear brand into 2024 for the slightly older person, to help with the nips and tucks and all those sort of things. But I'm going off piste again. But what she said to me, she said, I look back at a picture back in 2006 before I met you, and I said, I look good, she said. And I was always compared to other girls, and I was told growing up by various family members, you're overweight, you're this, you're that. And it knocked her confidence. And she said, maybe that's why I never attracted the right person until you came along. And this is exactly what we do. We compare ourselves to other people. And I know that is unfortunate, because who else can we compare ourselves to? However, it goes back to working with little 10-year-old today. I said to her, surround yourself with positive people. Surround yourself with people who elevate you. Surround yourself with people who will guide you and steer you. I'm not saying give you a cushy life, not at all, because that's not the direction I was going in. But it's about negativity, and it's about trying to emulate and follow people. It's like all these influences. It's looking at people's Instagram, looking at people's Facebooks. Do we show a picture of ourselves when we're having a bad day? Of course we don't. But I'm on a yacht sailing, and I'm doing this and that. Oh, look at my friends. They always look happy. But we never go down the route of going onto social media and drumming up all the negative nonsense that we're dealing with and going through. So we need to really understand that as human beings, we need to identify who you are, and everyone else is taken. So be you. We are all so unique. And it goes back to that wonderful Socrates or Plato. They said, that wonderful aphorism about know thyself. And what does it mean to know oneself?
By the way, congratulations on the new swimmer line. I love this. This is outstanding. When are we going to interview your beautiful wife and get this information out there?
We'll get Kerry on to the USA Global TV at some stage, and I'd love you to sort of just meet her firstly. Well, you've met her briefly, but just to come on and talk about her brand and her journey and her story.
It's so significant. You brought up so many great points there that are really resonating with me. So let's do this. Let's do it very soon. We do have a question, by the way, from Sadir Khan. Thank you for posing the question. It's to you, Philip. Sir, how can we deal with a boss who tells us again and again to do work which is not part of our responsibility?
Wonderful question. You've got to stand up for yourself for a start, Seda, in the sense of it's not a case of that's not my job, or I think how is the question asked firstly? If someone asks you very kindly, please may I ask you to do X, Y, Z. But if it's something that you're being pushed into and forced into every single time, then you can just turn around and say, look, with all due respect, when you keep throwing this onto me, it makes me feel X or it makes me feel Y. When we bring emotion into a conversation, and funny enough, this is exactly what I was sharing with this little 10-year-old today, is she helps a couple of children in the class because, a long story short, she's mother tongue is Chinese, and living in Malaysia, they attend Chinese classes, and a little girl asks her for help, and every now and then this little girl gets grumpy with her and is very untoward. So I said let's call her Mary. I said, Mary, the next time this little girl's grumpy, actually even before she gets grumpy with you, pull her aside on a good day when you find out, and Dr. JACALYN will absolutely validate what I'm sharing with you. Firstly, timing is everything. Timing is everything. So if you have a boss or someone in your organization getting you to do things that aren't really part of your responsibility, timing is fundamental. Because if you get them on the wrong foot, it could explode. So find a moment in time where it's okay to approach that individual. And this is exactly what I said to this young girl. I said to her, sit your friend down and say, look, when you get uppity with me and you get cross and you get angry and you sort of become abusive, you make me feel unhappy, you make me feel disrespected, you make me feel insecure. And let her know how you feel. And if this is going to continue, I'm no longer going to support you. So this is a deep question for a start, but I hope that just giving you a few of those tools will help you. But you've got to be confident. You've got to take ownership. As long as you're doing a good job in other areas that you're responsible for, you could turn around and say, I don't have the time right now. I'm focused on this project. I'm focused on that project. Please ask someone else. So I hope that's helpful.
Definitely. It's definitely helpful. A question that I have for you is, would it be appropriate to ask a question to your leader, to your boss? Sir, thank you for reaching out with this additional task. My hands are full at the moment, and I'm just wondering, what's the reason behind why you're giving it to me? And so the reason I'm saying that is maybe your boss thinks that you have great potential and is thinking of giving you a promotion, or maybe the department is downsizing and you're going to be kept in place. I don't know, but is it possible to ask another question, or what do you think?
Of course, I would 100% do that. And again, do it with the right body language, the right tonality, Dr. JACALYN. But that's actually a very dynamic way of handling a situation as well. Thank
you. And follow up. Thank you, sir.
Great. Let's put it into action. You've got nothing to lose.
Now, I wanted to go back to Carrie and what she's doing. I think this is really important because in different stages of our life, we have a different calling, right? We've been doing this for so long. Now we're interested in doing this. And that doesn't mean that everyone, I'm speaking for myself, but you brought up this example, that's a reality. When I made a change from corporate, I got a lot of unsolicited feedback from people about what was I doing and why was I giving up the paycheck and I must be out of my mind. I love when people start name calling, right away. I say to myself, okay, this is a person who obviously is struggling in some way because it's not appropriate to name call. But what is it that prompts us to give unsolicited feedback about someone else's journey?
There's a wonderful quote somewhere around, it goes along the following lines: never take guidance or steering from someone less qualified than you, or has less experience than you, or something along those lines. And we're all full of advice and guidance. I've got a great idea for you, Dr. Jack, and I think you should do blah, blah, blah. And have I thought that through? How do I know that's a good advice? You can position things in a certain way and say, Dr. Jack, there's something that cropped across my mind the other day. Have you ever thought about possibly X, Y, or Z? And it then plants that seed in your mind. That's one way of doing something. But people will always point fingers. I don't know where this comes from. I wish I did. People are always ready to. We should be inspiring people to achieve. And there was a quote, actually, Dr. Jacqueline. Actually, this quote is absolutely brilliant. And I want to share it with you because I saved it to my phone. And it really was, I just loved every moment of this particular thing. And I need to find it because it is so important.
While you're doing that, we do have a follow-up comment that I'll pull up here, also from Saad here. Sir, you guessed very quickly from the word boss that I'm working in Malaysia and my boss is Chinese. Love you, Sir Philip.
Oh, what was this word? It was something along the lines, why isn't it that people who know us really well won't support us when other people who don't know us support us, or something along those lines. It was a brilliant quote that I saved it because I just thought that it was so fundamental and paramount to what we do as human beings. And if I know I'm sort of stalling a bit here, but I really want to get this out there.
No, that's okay. I'll just jump in while you're doing that. And thank you, Saad here. So when I was in corporate up until March 6th of 2020, I was surrounded by a lot of people. I was on a team. I had great clients, and I kind of needed all of that. I needed all that interaction and people giving comments. And now that I'm an entrepreneur, I really don't want any of it. I don't need people's like unsolicited opinions about what I'm doing because I love what I'm doing. And I feel like what I'm doing is resonating. You know, for example, we have another comment from Lika Ursu. Very nice watching on Facebook. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the 3 hearts. I'm looking at this desk in front of me and I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think 9 books that I've published in the last 2 years. And it doesn't mean anything to anyone. It really doesn't. I mean, I open them up. There's nobody here to say, hey, but it means something to me because I think that's something I never did before. So I don't need outside applaud. I'd love to get reviews and sales, but if I don't, it's okay. So my point is that we come to a certain time of life. I'm 60 now. And if I'm still searching for external validation, I'm going to be very sad because I'm not going to be getting it. But Philip, as you know, when we're younger, we are searching for that. We've been brought up that, you need that pat on the back. You need the, way to go. But as you get older and you realize you have less time ahead of you than you have behind you, you can't, at least for me, I say to myself, no, I'm pretty happy with myself and what I'm doing. How do you feel?
Well, if you're not happy with yourself and what you're doing, go and get a job. Go and get up every morning on a Monday and think, crumbs, I have to face the day. We all got to find a way to work. And those of us who go down the being employed route, I salute anyone who goes down that route. That's wonderful. If you've got to enjoy what you're doing. That's number one. Number two, some people feel a little bit more safe in hopefully a job that is giving them security. The likes of you and I, Dr. Jackson, giving up that 6-figure salary must have been a huge decision to make, but you did it. You jumped out the airplane, and I've known you long enough now, and you've been building that parachute as you're falling, and that parachute supporting you, and you surround yourself with people who support you. And this goes on to what I found, and this is, you know why strangers support you more than people you know? Because people that know you have a tough time accepting you come from the same place, but they are still in the same place. And that is so true. It gives me goosebumps, and I just love that. You know why strangers support you more than people you know? Because people that know you have a tough time accepting you come from the same place, but they are still in the same place. And that is just boom. And for me, you've got to live life. Life is too short. It is, we're here today, we're gone tomorrow. And we've all got choices. Every one of us has a choice. And that's, Dr. JACALYN, this organization was set up not about being exclusive. We are inclusive. And the whole vision and focus of the British School of Etiquette and Excellence is about inclusion. This was built on 6 very strong pillars. And that first one is a world that you can be anything, be kind. The second one is very much having a what can I do for you attitude. How can I support you? How can I help you? The third one is very much about the ability to put people at ease in a very short space of time, make them feel comfortable. The fourth one is very much about going out there and doing that random act of goodness, that random act of kindness, giving people the opportunity, paying those compliments. The fifth one was very much about there's very much one race, and that's the human race. And we need to forget the past. We need to be very present, and we must focus on the future. And the sixth one, which for me really sort of encapsulates this whole scenario, it goes back to where we started sort of half an hour ago, and that is we have a duty. We are shepherds, and we have to guide and we have to steer. Now, we can lead our sheep to the wolf's den, or we can lead our sheep into green, beautiful pastures.
Excellent points. Thank you so much. And of course, we love to hear from you in the audience if you have any comments or any questions. So I think in the roles that we're in, and again, we're not just talking about Philip and myself, we're talking to everyone who's out there. Everyone has the opportunity to make a difference in their own life as well as in the lives of others. You don't need some fancy title. You don't need 6 figures. You don't need to have multiple homes. You just need to have it in here in your heart. Yesterday we interviewed someone from Ghana. His name is Blaze, and he's doing incredible work in Ghana, apprising people about what to look for symptoms for cervical, breast, and prostate cancer. He's donating part of his own salary every month to fund for screenings. I mean, incredible that he's doing this on his own. And I thought to myself, what is the government doing? But I also thought if each and every one of us took the opportunity to take some part of what we have or whatever it might be, it doesn't even have to be money, but our time to help mentor, to help guide, to help educate, imagine the potential for this world.
Well, it's more than potential. If everyone had that basic mindset, well, it's not basic, it takes a lot of willpower and a lot of strength to adopt a mindset like that. Dr. JACALYN, going back to those books you've written, yes, you've done it and you've achieved and you've accomplished. That's phenomenal. But let's put it another way around. That book could be lying around somewhere and someone picks up one of your books, and one page or the whole book, boom, could have an influence on them and change their lives. So everyone, I think we're quite, everyone, all of us, we often have a bit of a narrow mind approach to things. We need to be more blue, and even I want to go Red Sea thinking. Be the Red Sea rather than just sticking in the blue sea that everyone sort of goes with. And I was having a conversation with a gentleman called Yasser Zaki, who runs the most wonderful organization in Australia, working with disabled people and giving them opportunities. And he and I were having a conversation, and he has disrupted his industry and his sector, and he's been exceptionally successful. And he shared it with me, and he gave the comparison. If you look at, let's say, Apple, when Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak got together, they really disrupted the whole industry. They didn't just go down the same old route. They came in with something very, very different. Huge risk, but it paid off. It paid off because they looked at it on one real dynamic aspect, not about the technology, but what do people want? What do they need? What are they looking for? And if any single one of us can find that out, we can do the most incredible magic in whatever it is that we take on board.
Absolutely. I agree with you, of course. And I think what's really hitting home for me is that for everyone out there right now who's watching on the live or watching on the replay, are you happy in your life? Are you happy with yourself? And if not, what can you do to make a change? Because all we have is time. Time is the gift. And as we know, it keeps ticking. And having just lost my mother, Philip, you know about loss. It's just all of a sudden you wake up and go, wow, how much time do I have left? What am I going to do with this time? Am I going to spend it listening to what people are telling me, putting me down, insulting me, getting in my way? No, I'm going to move forward in the best way that I know, with integrity and compassion, not with judgment for those who aren't in alignment with whatever it is that I'm doing, but with compassion, saying we're not on the same page, and that's okay. You're here, I'm there. No one's better than anyone. It's just a matter of finding your own happiness. And if you're not happy in your corporate career, if you're not happy in your personal life, if you're not happy in your relationships, what can you do to make a change? And maybe that is, instead of looking within, maybe it's looking without and mentoring and guiding and volunteering. Just my thoughts.
And with all due respect, we can't go around through life blaming other people. Maybe something has happened because of someone doing X, Y, Z or saying something, but there comes a time in our lives where you can stop and hit a reset button, and you can go out there and find. The world now is it's a gift. Let's be very present, because that word present means it's a gift. And going back to time, it's a gift. And you could use our time. So many of us spend so much time wasting our time. How much time, this is an open-ended question for anyone out there, how much time do you spend on your social media, looking at it like this? I mean, Kerry and I were driving back from our little rendezvous today, and there was some chap walking down the street talking to himself. Obviously, he was on his headphones talking. But 20 years ago, if you had seen that, you would have most probably phoned up the local loony bin and said, hey, there's some guy walking down the street there talking to himself. We've advanced, and there is so much information at our fingertips now, and free information to educate us. I mean, how fortunate are we? So for anyone who's stuck in a rut or not sure what the next step is, or what they feel they ought to be doing, start doing some deep research, and really start. I want to give you a few sort of points out there that I really would love you to sort of think deep and hard about, okay? Because we go back to that phrase that I brought in earlier. Sure, I know myself. I know who I am. Do we really? So there's some questions here. Do you know why you behave the way you do? Ask yourself that question. Why do I behave this way? Why do I behave that way if that happens? What triggers? Okay, so do we know why we behave the way we do in certain situations? That's number one. Number two, what drives our decisions? What's promoting? What's pushing our decisions? Okay, and then ask yourself a question. How do we really genuinely feel about ourselves and the people in our lives? That's a huge question. How do we feel about ourselves and the people in our lives? Because often what happens is, as human beings, is if we're not happy with ourselves, we're not going to be very pleasant, A, to be around. B, we're going to rub off on other people. C, we're going to start a whole badly tuned drum beat that's going to have, it's like throwing a pebble in the water, and it just gets the ripple effect. Okay, so do we really, really understand that big question? All right, who do we really, how do we really feel about ourselves and the people in our lives? And those are very, very good questions to ask ourselves. And this really forms a journey into our emotional intelligence, because when we ask those questions and we can start to put down the answers to these sort of questions, we can then start to work on ourselves. And we can rewire ourselves. And that is the beautiful thing about emotional intelligence.
Excellent points as always. Thank you, Philip. And we're going to take a look at your website. I just have one comment that I wanted to share. How can we reframe something? So what I found is that something seems to be black and white, and maybe we're the ones who are always looking at it, it's black. What if we looked at it as it's white? And I'm going to give an example. So this workout that I do, if you know me, you know what it is. I'm not going to go into it, but I go there pretty much every day. And it's there's only so many people who can go. I think it's 14. And most of the people are beautiful. They're beautiful. They have beautiful skin and their midriffs are all showing. And I'm probably 40 years older, 35 years older, 30. And the other day it started getting me down because I thought, oh, I'm so old. I'm so old. And I was telling this to someone, and the person said, did you ever think to yourself, how many 60-year-olds are as strong as you? And I thought, no, I never thought that. And they said, did you ever think that maybe these 20-year-olds are looking to you and going, how does she get to be so strong? And I thought, wow, that's so my point is we can do this with almost anything. Turn it around and look at it from a different perspective.
Definitely, definitely. And that's, it goes back to, I think, self-appreciation, really patting yourself on the back and saying, hey, I'm really proud of you. I'm proud of you. Well done. Because, I mean, I'm going to go off piste again. Dr. Jacalyn, firstly, and this is not trying to ooh and ah you, but you don't look anywhere near 60, which is wonderful. Number two is, as we do get older, if we don't maintain strength, and I'm talking about physical strength, the older we get, the more difficult it is going to be more mobile and to appreciate life. The interesting thing as human beings is, and this has been going on for centuries, for those of us who drive a motor car or like cycling or, I don't know, whatever gadget you might have, and let's use a motor car, for example. We don't just drive our motor car without giving it a tune-up and a service and refueling it. That's one thing. We've got to refuel our vehicles, because if you don't, you're going to run out. You're going to be stuck on the side of the road. It's now electric vehicles. If you don't charge them, you're going to be stuck on the side of the road. But so why don't we as human beings look at ourselves, maybe it's a really very basic analogy, as a vehicle, and we've got to retune ourselves. We've got to rewire ourselves. We've got to maintain ourselves. And through that, heaven forbid we don't get hit by a bus tomorrow or we don't end up being ill, but we don't know what's around the corner, but we can keep circumventing and preparing ourselves to be better than we were yesterday and to be more tuned than we were yesterday. And I think that's really something that we all need to take on board from your example. When you walk into that gym, Dr. Jacalyn, and I know your workout is not Mickey Mouse. It's not sort of a run around a block and then you throw the block back under your bed. You give it a full workout and you come out of there burning and boom, you're on fire. It's not about going to the end of every session and wanting to kill yourself, but any form of just tuning yourself, whatever works for you, is going to be better than doing zero or nothing. And talk is cheap. And it goes back to the old adage, if you've always done what you've always done, you're always going to do what you've always done. So if you don't make the change, I'm telling everyone right there, right now, because I've been in those shoes, I might land in those shoes again, but I know how to sort of push myself or motivate myself to get out of those shoes. This is something we all need, and we all need guidance and steering.
And it's being coachable and receptive to that kind of coaching. I think that makes a big difference. I want to say hello to our dear friend, Roland Friedel, I believe is watching. Hi, Roland. And we also have another comment. Greetings to you, beautiful people. Armin from Armenia is sharing all your wonderful ideas. Thank you so much. And by the way, Armin, KERBECK used to be KERBECkian. So we have Armenian in our family history, which is very cool. So
it's an amazing gentleman.
Let's take a look at the website that everyone needs to go to, the BritishSchoolOfExcellence.com. Philip, tell us where we should go here to educate the audience on what you're offering.
It's not even, funny enough, we've got an incredible team and a woman who is a genius with a pen and research. So articles that also has put together, the area where we sort of publish articles are very easy to access, along with our YouTube channel. And I really would urge anyone out there to spend time looking at our YouTube channel, sharing it with other people, and reading the articles that Orsa has shared, because there's lots of value in what Orsa's put together. And again, the YouTube channel, we've shared a lot of material on our YouTube channel. And not only that, hearing the experience from other people's points of view and their experience with the British School of Excellence. And as a whole, there's some the latest articles And we've got articles that have been going for 10 years now. So there's a huge amount of wonderful content and material there. As an organization, we're very much an open book, and we really encourage people to connect with us and reach out to us and engage in a conversation. It's time, and it will cost you a bit of time. But you know what? At the end of the day, that time could give you an opportunity to really do something different. It might give you an opportunity to make a change and pull the trigger on doing something that's going to motivate you going forward in life. And you know, the website is undergoing some maintenance, and we're going to be relaunching a new website in a couple of weeks' time. It's very simple to navigate around. We talk about country partnerships, in other words, franchise opportunities. Our Train the Trainer, as I said, is coming up in October. The Polished Professional. I'm working with some amazing children tomorrow, all the way from Japan at 8 a.m. British summertime. We are a global organization. We have setups in Brazil, Bermuda, the Bahamas, Japan. Well, not so much. Japan's more of a relationship, but 2 operations in Pakistan, 1 in Lahore, 1 in Karachi, Poland, Benelux, Oman, and we've got various potential partners in the pipeline. So as an organization, our vision and focus is very much to give people the tools for life, to build their confidence and to change their lives. And you know, Dr. Jacqueline, just before we sort of have to sign off, there's a shortened version of this young man who came on the Polished Professional in June, July last year. And I had a lunch dining etiquette experience with him a few Fridays ago. And he did send in a beautiful, lengthy overview, which would, I think, take a long time to read. But he did a little thumbnail sketch, and it goes along the following lines. He said, after enrolling on the Polished Professional and applying the techniques taught on the course, I have seen enormous improvements both personally and professionally. My income has increased substantially, along with my job satisfaction and performance. The principles taught in this course have the power to enrich not only your life, but also the lives of those around you. And he goes on to say, I am a tattooed, bearded, heavy metal fan. And the principles of good manners and etiquette taught by the British School of Excellence have improved my life immeasurably. These courses really are for everyone. I cannot recommend this company and its mentors enough. Using the principles taught by the British School of Excellence, I have eradicated stress from my life, increased my personal income substantially, and improved my performance and the performance of my department across all measurable fields. The Polished Professional is an absolute must-have. The Polished Professional is the most valuable course I've ever taken.
Wow, that's incredible. What a testimonial.
And when you receive that, that's what gets me up in the morning.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you think about it, a number of people who have come through your doors, graduates, the work that they're doing, I mean, we could go on and on about some of the things that I'm seeing that your graduates have accomplished and the programs they've started as a result of the training and certification they've received from you and the British School of Excellence.
Absolutely. I mean, just the other day, and we've got an amazing alumni platform. Just the other day, one of our incredible alumni from Ukraine, lives in San Diego. She's just launched the most phenomenal etiquette school in San Diego. We've got a woman living in Boston. She's got a coaching business, working in business etiquette and business excellence out of Boston. We've got Carol Sterling, who's got a brand in the US called Sterling Etiquette. I mean, it's endless. The opportunities that arise off the back of our coaching and training is substantial. Recently, I had the privilege of meeting Orchids, who lives in Dubai. She has rolled out the most gorgeous organization where she actually entertains in her own home. She does dining etiquette, Western style, Asian style, Africa. She brings in a chef that she's giving an opportunity to. They go into the art of conversation. They go into obviously the dining etiquette. They go into how we present ourselves and how do we put our best foot forward. And I could talk for hours, as you know, Dr. Jack, and I'm not shy of speaking, and I love sharing with people. But at the end of the day, you know, it is about building confidence and changing lives. And all of us out there, and Dr. Jack, and this goes back to your wonderful age of 60, you know, everything is about live, learn, teach, inspire. And that's something else that you can take with you for the rest of your life is you've lived, you've learned, you teach, and now you inspire. And that is a gift to the world. It is an honor and a gift. And anyone has that mindset and attitude to down tools where you're in that very wonderful comfort zone and jump out the airplane and build the parachute on the way down, I salute you.
And I salute you, Philip. Thank you. And here's another comment about the British School of Excellence. I cannot recommend the British School of Excellence enough.
That's wonderful. And Kaleda, who again, I could talk about her for hours. This timid little person came on the trainer, and boom, out came the other end, this blossom and this flower, and she's just growing. She's a mum, a little newborn, and she's extraordinary. It comes from a challenging country as well. She immigrated and came over to Italy, and she's done some incredible work over there. And I can't wait to see how Nkeleda's journey unfolds.
Thank you for the comment. All right, we have to wrap up for now. Our next show is coming up. It's Talking Heads, and it's starring me. Hello, I'm pretty excited about that. So do stay tuned for that episode. Philip, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you, and who would you like to contact you?
Hello at the British School of Excellence.com, and my direct WhatsApp is +44 780 885 9914. Please do get in touch with us. We've got a great team, and we love engaging and connecting. Please make an effort. And I just wish everyone out there the opportunity and health, happiness, but just to make some very serious decisions for you and for no one else.
Thank you so much, Philip. Appreciate you. We're going to close out with a sponsorship from, guess who? That would be the British School of Excellence. We'll be right back with Talking Heads. Enjoy the rest of your day. And please do stay with us. Subscribe to our channel. And also subscribe to the British School of Excellence on YouTube as well. Thanks, everyone. Bye, Philip. Thank you.
All the best. Bye-bye, everyone.
This program is brought to you in part by the British School of Excellence and founder, Mr. Philip Sykes. Building confidence, changing lives. Do you share our view that etiquette is a set of modern life skills that are essential for personal and professional success? Join us as an etiquette coach and change people's lives through the power of etiquette and manners.
The last few days have been really amazing. I had a trainer course from the British School of Etiquette.
And I must say it's been one of the best decisions I've ever made and one of the best investments I've made in my own training and development.
Now, words alone will not describe the transformation and the positive path that I have traveled with the British School of Etiquette.
I found I learned a lot from the lessons this time I came.
The last few days with the British School of Etiquette have been fantastic.
And what I've learned now is really beyond my expectations.
This is the most rewarding experience and the best investment I have made this year.
It was just great. I learned so much, and when I go back to Belgium I will incorporate a lot of it into my day-to-day life and business.
It's been absolutely wonderful for the whole week that we were here.
I feel transformed, and I feel like blowing a trumpet and tell people, come and do this school, this class is the best, this is the best school ever.
You should take it. It will change your life immediately.
I am now able to teach other people how to bring the best of them.
Thank you.
Thank you, BSC.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you to our clients for their testimonials on the Train the Trainer program. Our exponential and global growth is so significant that we have evolved from the British School of Etiquette to the British School of Excellence, where we're investors in people. Let us invest in you and your career. Contact us to become an etiquette coach. Go to thebritishschoolofexcellence.com. Start your career and elevate your success today.